All right, Mark, here's your practice video. We are going to do a D major scale. We're going to do it with our left hand, then our right hand, and then we're going to try hands together. We're going to make sure that we do the correct fingering. So we're going to tuck our thumb under there. Then we're going to come back over with our 3 finger. Our left hand. Our 3 finger comes over. Then our thumb tucks under. All right? When you do both hands, you got to go really slow at first because your thumbs don't transfer at the same point. See, my right hand is turning under, but my left hand is still just going up. Now my right hand's going up, but my left hand's coming over. So you've just got to do it kind of slowly at first because you need to make sure that you keep that proper fingering. Thumb under, 3 over. All right, and I would do it with a metronome. If you just turn on your metronome, it is almost certainly set to 120 if it's a digital. So if I were to start at 120, well, when you first start doing it, you'll probably have to do 2 clicks on every note because you don't want to mess it up. All right. Now the other thing that I'm going to tell you to look at is I'm still going to use that D major scale, but we talked a little bit about the fact that a bass note that is not the chord tone, the chord root, was a little odd to think about. It seemed a little odd. Well, we're going to do a little exercise here where we're going to go up the D major scale, and I'm going to play chords with my right hand, and my chords are going to go back and forth between D major and E minor. So that's D major and E minor. Those are my 2 chords, D major and E minor. But I'm going to voice them such that the top note goes up a D major scale. So my first chord is going to be this D. I've got the D on top, and I'm going to walk up the major scale. And I'm going to go to an E minor. Now I'm going to go to a D major, but I'm going up the scale, so that's on top, to E minor, continuing up the scale, to D major, continuing up the scale, to E minor. And now when you get to here, you're going to do an A and D. So my top note Now that is all well and good, but the reason that I'm going to do it is because I'm going to sustain a bass note of D in the bottom. And it's going to actually make the whole thing sound really kind of pretty. And when you, it's sort of the opposite of the thing we did this week where we took our top note our top chord held the one chord. Our right hand played the one chord while our left hand moved. Here our right hand is gonna move chords, but the left hand is gonna stay the same. When you keep the left hand the same, like just playing D, even if you're bouncing between 2 Ds, that's called pedaling the bass. It's called pedaling the bass. So I'm gonna pedal the bass on D while I'll move up the D major scale, alternating between D major and E minor harmony. And now A and D. Again. one more time, but this time, instead of doing a regular A at the end, because remember, this A is our 5 chord, and 5 sets up 1. The only thing that sets up 1 better than 5 is if you add a 7 to the 5. A 5-7 really sets up 1. And to make a 5-7 of this A, I need to add the 7th. The 7th is going to be a whole step below the tonic. So there's my A. I'm going to move that down to a G. I've still got my A down here in my bass. There's a 5-7. A7 resolves very nicely to the 1 chord. 5-7 resolves to 1. So the way I'm making that 5-7 is I'm taking my regular 5 that I would have been on and moving the A down to G. Now I've got an A7 to D. Here I go. All right, take your time with that stuff.